Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm back with another recap of Tyler Perry's Sistas Season 5, Episode 7. Oh my gosh. Can you believe Karen finally read her letter, right? Yeah, Fatima, she sits down and you could tell Zach is so livid. Like, he's like, why am I here? Like, the disgust on his face is like eating him up inside. But Fatima's calming him down so that he can sit still. And that way Karen can read what she had to say. Basically, Karen read her letter to Zach with an attitude. You can tell, like, it was some pent-up anger. But then again, she was saying she stayed 3 years. Nobody told you to stay 3 years in a relationship. If you saw he messed up once, okay, you forgave him, you took him back, and he did it again the second time, and then he did it again the third time, obviously, you should have been left. But then again, you remember, she was doing her own on the side. Y'all remember Rico in, I think, season 1. Yeah, she didn't tell her or her truth. Like, I think she be paying to her mother like she's this innocent person. But in the end, she's this horrible, well, I say horrible person, but she be doing her own dirt. And the only thing is that she just haven't got caught. The fact that she said what she said that the baby might be hers. Fatima had some stuff to say, but then after she read her letter to Zach let her know, like, listen, it's funny how you putting me down, you bashing me, but you're not saying all the good stuff. You're not saying this, you're not saying that. And the fact that I paid you back the money that you said I owed you, and then Karen got the nerve to say that, oh, that's not enough. What? Oh, she really losing her mind. She's stressing her own self out. Ain't nobody really said much or nothing to her, and she's sitting there with a whole attitude, a chip on her shoulder, like, girl, calm down, humble yourself. Like, you just mad that, like, that, I don't know, she talked down so much of him that she don't think that what she did was wrong. Like, everybody has feelings, and the fact that she treated him the way that she treated him, which also is not an excuse, but it made him do the stuff he did and act the way he did towards her. Like, come on now. If you want to see change, you got to be the change you want to see. Like, speak positivity into people so that way they know that you're there for them, you got their support. But the fact is, she ain't do that to Zach, so Zach went out and tried to find it elsewhere. And in the end, he got a baby mother on the way, and he got crazy exes of one night stands that he done got to deal with now. But he got a good woman in his life, Fatima. So let's get back to that. So after he said what he said, Fatima said what she said. She was like, listen, we're going to figure out if this baby is his or not. Backtrack the date to see where it lies. But come to find out, it was in the same week. And she also, Fatima, she told her about herself. She was like, listen, when you call somebody a B, when you're in the circle, friends, whatever, that's okay. But if you're not in the circle of friends, whatever, that's when you know it's about these hands. So Fatima was telling Karen about herself. And then she was also telling her, like, you cannot be popping up at the house. Her mother was shocked to find out that she was doing that stuff. But it was like, you really doing that? And Karen didn't want to face the funk. Like, listen, you was really coming out of your face stuff for somebody you barely even knew. And it's crazy because when y'all remember in season 1 or the beginning of season 2, when Fatima went to get her hair fixed and they was talking like they were best friends. And when they was at the restaurant, they was all fine and dandy. But until she figured out that she was dating Zach, the switch done flipped. And she became this most hated enemy. Like, for what? You didn't want him no more. You told him to get his stuff and leave. You threw out his grandmother's stuff. His grandfather's stuff. You kicked him to the curb. So why are you so mad that he found somebody that's willing to, like, uplift him and be with him? And then now all of a sudden you supposed to be feeling him now. Like, girl, let him go. You kicked him to the curb a long time ago. And you was messing with Aaron on the side too. Like, come on now. He was also still coming back to show you that he's changed. And you still put him down, talk dirty to him. Aaron talked about his bike. So what if he had a bike? He was on the road to becoming the man that he is now. Like, come on now. Look, Look what happened to a little positivity and support. It goes a long way, as you can see in this case. So whatever the case may be, Fatima said what she had to say, and Karen didn't like that, and she got upset, and she kicked everybody out of her house. Like, girl, your mother is not going to always be there to fight your battles. Sometimes you got to know when to keep your mouth shut and let it be. And I'm also, why she didn't confront Aaron about finding out that he knew the doctor there and going up showing unannounced. She also didn't even apologize. Like, how's the girl got me stumbling. How does that make sense? Like, you called her out her name for something that she didn't even do, and you still won't apologize. Like, no, make it make sense. Karen, you was in the wrong. You was in the wrong. Pregnant or not, stressed or not, you was in the wrong, and you should have been big enough to apologize, because Fatima has done nothing to you. Nothing to you whatsoever. But yeah, let's get back into this. So, Gary and Hayden are at the bar drinking, talking, and chopping it up. And so they still trying to get Robin. Like, supposedly Robin thinks he's some big shot. But I guess Gary did his research on him, and he kind of like, he believes everything that he got going on. But Hayden, on the other hand, he's like, nah, I don't think so. We got to find ways so he can get him out. So basically, they make a bet on trying to get Robin out. And also, he was like, Hayden told Gary, like, what happened to Andy? Like, 1 minute, y'all, you was trying to sue her. Now, next minute, y'all are lovey-dovey or whatever the case would be. So they made a bet, I guess, to see if he gonna get with Andy. But Hayden's trying to tell Gary that, like, she's playing you. You better be careful. And Gary's not taking heed to what he's saying, but he calls her up and talks to her, whatever it can be. And eventually she agreed to have him come over. So he basically get up to leave, and Hayden continues sipping his drink while he also got to pay the bill. But yeah, I think Hayden is right about this with Andy, but all his other situations involving Zach and everybody else, he's wrong with. But I do have a feeling like Andy is playing him, but only time will tell. But let's continue. Oh my God, Calvin walks into all these people in him and Maurice's house while Q was at the table with some girl drinking and smoking, while all these other people were just stealing this stuff. Come to find out, they done stole the microwave, the TV, ate up all the food. Calvin is so beyond pissed. Like, Calvin at Q right now, like, and all this dude is just like laughing about it because he's high, but he's laughing about it like they also went into Calvin's room and took his dead father's golf clubs. Like, Calvin was giving that big boy energy that we've been missing. But I really wish she would have just clocked him in his head, because, you know, when people are incoherent, they not really aware of what's going on. So he could have got his punches in and just would have been like, boom, 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 boom. Little gave him a 2-piece and a biscuit. But, you know, I guess Calvin's softer side is what was preventing him from putting his hands on him. Like, they ate up all the food. He called the police, I guess, and, you know, he really can't do nothing about it because he's not on Maurice's lease. So he's kind of like in a stuck situation, because then again, you got this gangster who is a criminal, a jack of all trades, Q, basically pick locks and everything. So even if he changed the locks, do this and do this, Calvin does that, Q's going to find his way back in. And it's like, well, dang, what can I do? Hopefully some way down the line that they can get in touch with Madam. Like, let Calvin need to get in contact with Danny, so Danny can get in contact with Andy, and they can go from there. Because right now, this is a whole mess that Maurice should have handled from jump when he took Calvin's checkbook the first time. Like, they would not be in this situation. Like, free Sabrina and Maurice, because this Q is getting on my nerves. Like, for real. And I already know Calvin is up to here livid about the whole situation. He is beyond pissed right now. But, ooh, let's continue. Okay, so Fatima and Zach, they made it home. They get in the bed, whatever, and they start talking about what's been going on and what went down with at Karen's house. So basically, all in all, Fatima, she believed everything that Karen said was true, and she broke it down for Zach to understand. Gave him a great analogy. She basically used, like, you see how he was in Chain Breakers, right? And he put all his money in, and then he lose it. So he said that happened, which he did. So the next person comes in, and they get everything you wanted and more. And then also, you see how you go to the slot machine casino and you play on the slots year, and you just lose all your money. And then the one day you decide to get up, somebody comes to sit in your seat and they win everything that you wish you wanted. Yeah, that's exactly how Karen felt about the situation with Zach. Like, she was invested in him for the long haul, not just about the money she put out to get anything in return, but she was really trying to see where was the relationship going to go. And Fatima actually understood her, which I understand too, because as anybody, like, you wouldn't want to be putting in all this time and hard work just for to be played in your face. Like, no, nobody does that. So basically, Zach understood, and then he was like, listen, so let me ask you one more question before you go to bed. So how did you know about the counting back at the 10, whatever? He's like, Pythagorean theorem. Like, what? We ain't doing no math equations, but then again, it's like, females, we notice things, because, you know, that's part of our timeline, body timeline. So, like, you think, like, well, I messed with this person, I messed with this person, let me see, how far apart was that? And then, yeah, that's just something that's inclined for us, you know, to do. Like, because men don't think like that. They just do dip, and they out. And then, look, they be in the situation that Zach's in now, like, with a baby mama, okay? But, yeah, so that was that. I like how they had a little cute moment. And Fatima still going to sleep with that makeup on her face. He was like, you just like, why? And then, you know, they gonna get it on. All right, let's continue. Okay, so Miss Lisa and Karen, they have a heart-to-heart talk, and Miss Lisa actually put into perspective of how Karen's feeling, stuff like that, because she went through it. So yeah, so now that she came to a realization, Karen, she realized that, like, maybe everything that's going on between Zach and this whole situation is not so more about Zach, it's more so about, like, what is Aaron really up to? Is like, because, you know, it makes sense. Like, she's never seen at his place or where he going to work at. You only saw them once or twice at the gym and the park, and always at Karen's house or outside of a restaurant. But she's never been to his house. Or I don't think he even have a house, but whatever. She's never been to where he stays. And it makes sense now that, you know, maybe he is too good to be true. And do he have any skeletons in his closet? Because I'm surprised Zach didn't bring this up, that he also got stabbed for her. Like, come on now. But anyways, that was that. Danny, she finally gets the courage, because Jonah, he's still trying to put in work, but obviously it ain't working. So she ends up getting up to go to the bathroom, and she calls Andy. And Andy was like, listen, just call Preston. Tell him how you feel. Tell him how you feel. Stop picking up all these strays. And then Danny told Andy that, you know, he's small. So she's like, listen, anybody got time for that? Just call Preston. Tell him how you really feel. And I will talk to you in the morning. And that's that. Like, oh, I can't wait, because I really want to see Sabrina so bad, and see Maurice. Like, come on now. Come on. Okay, so Gary finally made it to Andy's house, and she was happy to see him, whatever. And I guess, you know, his friend was happy. But he was trying to, do with her. And she was like, nah, I'm good. Why you just go take a shower or whatever? So he ends up going to go take a shower. And she was like, he just throwing stuff everywhere. So she picks up his blazer. And she sees some papers in his pocket. She's looking like, oh, no, this cannot be happening. So she hurry up to put the stuff back, his papers back in his pocket. And he's in the shower, whatever. So it goes back to Danny's place, and she comes out of the bathroom, and Jonah's sitting on the bed, and he's still trying to, get it up and get it on with her. And after a few moments, Danny was like, nah, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. So Jonah felt offended, so he started putting on his clothes. He was like, so you want me to get out? And she was like, yeah, get out of my house. So he starts putting on his clothes. He was like, then you bees. Like, I knew this was going to happen. Like, Danny was like, nah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do this. But once she heard him say, you a bee, y'all bees, she was like, oh, I'm going to do it. So basically, she went in on him. She was like, listen, I don't even know why it's called that, because it ain't even that big. You shouldn't even be wearing condoms. You should just stick to wearing those, the skinny balloons and put those on. But it's not going to stay on. And he was like, before that, you could just call it just call it the C. And I guess she was like, just get out of my house. Just get out of my house. He turned around and he backslapped her. At that moment, yeah, she should have just, I don't know. Now, the chick got knocked over in her bed, and he sits down, I guess, to put on his shoes. He was like, yeah, this is happening. I think that's probably why his baby mother acts the way she does, because in the end, he's abusive. And he feels like, since he's small, he feels demasculated, like not more of a man, because he can't rise to the occasion. So he uses his abusive nature to kind of control the woman in the situation at hand. I'm surprised he even had a child. Like, from my experience, they don't work out that way. Me, what I did too. Like, I'm like, nope, out of here. That's it. It is what it is. I mean, sometimes that just don't work. Especially you like this, it's definitely not going to work. Okay, you can't even rise to the occasion. You can't even stay there. So it's like, I'm about to go. So, yes, Ego Trip episode 7 was definitely a trip for real, for real. So we see at the end for next week's episode that, come to find out, Danny needs a lawyer. I guess he blackened her eye bad because she got on shades. So both Fatima and Andy walked into her office, and she was like, listen, I need a lawyer. What else? I guess Karen's allowed to go to the salon. She also called Andy to let her know that, listen, we're gonna, plan a girls' day so that way my mom won't be up on me. But I guess Miss Lisa was really hip to that. And hopefully we find out some more about Calvin, Q, Sabrina, and Maurice. So, yeah, I can't wait. Stay tuned for next week's episode. Oh, my God. I hope y'all really enjoyed this recap, because this time I actually really broke it down and did it in segments. So that way I can get everything fresh in my mind out to y'all like that. So, yes, this was definitely a great one. I mean, I don't really like the fact that, it took us forever for Karen to read her letters, but I'm glad she finally got it over with and everybody could come to an understanding. Hopefully, she don't try to come for Fatima again, or Fatima's going to put them hands on her. Like, she got mad on her side. Like, all she got to do is say one word, okay? Pregnant or not, you're going to get dealt with. Keep playing with Fatima, Karen. Keep playing with her. But hopefully, the realization from her mother's help put her into a different perspective, and she can let bygones be. Let Zach and Fatima live their life, and she focuses on her baby and Aaron. And hopefully, we get a DNA test to see who baby that really is. From my understanding, everybody, like I've been seeing, and saying around town is that's Aaron's baby. Like, that is Aaron's baby. It is. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this recap. Y'all stay tuned for next week's episode. I got y'all. Bye.